Good morning. We are trying to catch another beautiful sunrise, or so we hope. This is chapter 2, Mystical Sensations. Still high after a game, though his team had lost, Andy Russell of the Pittsburgh Steelers once told a writer, Roy Blount, "Some games you're distracted by an injury or something, and you get down on yourself, question your character. This game I was way into the game. We lost, but all I could think afterwards was, God, I had so much fun." Many people experience the same kind of intensity and release in sport. When anyone pushes against the psychobiological limits, the brain tissues record a remarkable range of pleasures. In hundreds of reports from athletes, we have found that the sport experience produces many unusual feelings and ideas. We have noted 60 or more different kinds of sensation in their reports, from a simple sense of well-being to exotic moments when the body seems to stop time or change shape or free the self to travel out of the body. A few sensations are so commonplace they have become newspaper cliches. The winner's confidence that marks many stars can radiate like an aura and be a palpable threat to every competitor. Pitcher Gene Conley says, "I'll never forget Ted Williams coming to the plate. You talk about a guy putting you back on your heels on the mound. He dug in, and he looked so big up there. And the bat looked so light in his hands, and he didn't swish it around. He snapped it back and forth, and he looked so darn anxious, as if he was saying, 'Okay, kid, let's see what you've got.' Confidence just oozed out of him. He took something away from you even before you threw a pitch." An entire team can catch the fever of invincibility. In Life on the Run, Bill Bradley describes a game the Knicks played against Milwaukee, in which the New Yorkers trailed by 19 points, with only 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. With fans already heading home, Bradley reports, "Suddenly we caught fire. Everything we shot went in, and our defense held Milwaukee scoreless for 5 minutes. We won by 3 points, accomplishing what came to be known as a believer feat. Those who saw it believed in our invincibility. I think even we did." When contagious confidence spreads through a team, conventional wisdom credits a nebulous group psych up. But theologian Michael Novak argues in his book, Joy of Sports, that something more concrete is going on. When a collection of individuals first gels as a team, truly begins to react as a 5-headed or 11-headed unit, rather than as an aggregate of 5 or 11 individuals, you can almost hear the click. A new kind of reality comes into existence at a new level of human development. A basketball team, for example, can click into and out of this reality many times during the same game, and each player, as well as the coach and the fans, can detect the difference. For those who have participated on a team that has known the click of communality, communality. The experience is unforgettable, like that of having attained, for a while at least, a higher level of existence as it ought to be. Beyond the aura of confidence and the click of teamwork with nearly everyone credits and purports to understand, athletes report other sensations that, true or not, happen fairly often. Their accounts support each other. Men and women in very different sports tell stories that are quite similar. Their experiences range from surges of speed and power to moments of mystery and awe, from ecstasy to peace and calm, from instinctive right action to intimations. Oh, Lordy. From instinctive right action to intimations of immortality, from detachment and perfect freedom to a sense of unity with all things, from a comfortable feeling of being at home to uncanny incidents when the body, as if weightless, tells the brain that it has taken up floating or flying. The experiences reported in this chapter all involve transcendent feelings, commonly described by artists, mystics, and lovers, and also by athletes. We give examples of 11 different categories of these feelings, but the number could be tripled. After we examine these, we will move on to extraordinary perceptions in Chapter 3, and to extraordinary athletic feats in Chapter 4. All right, the beginning of the next part, acute well-being. This is all still Chapter 2. Are you okay, friend? Are we okay, baby? I have coffee this morning. Oh wow, there's some planes in the sky. Oh. Well, that was great timing. Okay, acute well-being. And that is ACUTE, all one word. Anyone who exercises regularly will tell you that a sense of well-being is a natural attribute of physical fitness. Joe Namath touches on this feeling of happiness when he tells about throwing a touchdown pass. It's pretty hard to describe how that feels, throwing a pass and seeing a man catch it and seeing him in the end zone and seeing the referee throw his arms up in the air, signaling a touchdown, signaling that you've done just what you set out to do. It's an incredible feeling. It's like your whole body's bursting with happiness. That was my Joe Namath voice. Thank you very much. Okay, racing car driver Dick Simon says that there is just something about the sensation you feel in a racing car at speed that is unlike anything else. It brings out all the good feelings in you. Skiers, skydivers, and others have talked about these good feelings. But these days it seems we hear more about them from runners than from anyone else. A case in point is psychiatrist Thaddeus Kostrobala, who began running to improve his physical fitness and keep his weight down. After about 2 months, this is what he reported. I became aware of two things. Excuse me. I became aware of two things. The first was the feeling that I was not at all fatigued after an hour of this type of running, walking. Strangely, at the end of the session, I had a sense of energy and a kind of pleasure. It wasn't connected to any achievement factor that I could see, for I would feel that way even if I had not fulfilled my own present expectations, such as running a mile. I did not understand this odd shift in feeling. It was a sense of well-being, a sense of energy. I seemed to be more cheerful. Another runner, Dr. George Sheehan, says that he uses half an hour as the point beyond which he experiences distinct mental benefits. And here's what he says. Excuse me. That first 30 minutes is for my body. During that half hour, I take joy in my physical ability, the endurance and power of my running. I find it a time when I feel myself competent and in control of my body, when I can think about my problems and plan my day-to-day world. In many ways, that 30 minutes is all ego, all the self. It has to do with me, the individual. What lies beyond this fitness of muscle? I can only answer for myself. The next 30 minutes is for my soul. In it, I come upon the third wind, unlike the second wind, which is physiological. And then I see myself not as an individual, but as a part of the universe. In it, I can happen upon anything I ever read or saw or experienced. Every fact and instinct and emotion is unlocked and made available to me through some mysterious operation in my brain. William Glasser, in his Positive Addiction, collected a number of first-hand personal accounts from mediators, runners, and craftsmen. He concluded that they had formed positive addictions to these pursuits, a trance-like transcendental mental state that accompanies the addictive exercise. I believe now that it is this same state, the positive addiction state of mind, that the exercisers reach indirectly, and that the mediators are trying to reach directly. Kostrobala, Sheehan, and Glasser all suggest that running is a physical means of obtaining the ecstatic state of consciousness that mediators seek by purely mental means. Another similarity is that athletes, like mediators, need to engage in a sport activity on a regular basis, and for at least a half-hour period in order to achieve a state of heightened well-being. It's quite beautiful here, my loves. All right, let's see if we can squeeze a little bit more in. All right. Peace, calm, and stillness. If I wasn't talking, it would be peaceful, calm, and pretty still here. So I never know whether I should sit here silently so you could be with me or do what I do. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you. Peace, calm, and stillness. Almost all of us are caught up in lifestyles that offer little opportunity for true peace or for the sense of renewal provided by stillness, but in areas where few people would expect to find it. In risk sports, in running, In the bruising melee of football, athletes do find stillness and peace. This sense of peace can be found in any stage of a sport. Sometimes it precedes it, although it is integral. Alright, for some reason I know that word, integrally. Although it is integrally. Integrally. Okay, it's just simply too early. Although it is that word related to the actual act of participation. I'm going to read the whole damn sentence again, aren't I? This sense of peace can be found in any stage of a sport. Sometimes it precedes it, although it is integrally related to the actual act of participation. In Zen archery, achieving and maintaining a state of calm is the primary goal before, during, and after the act of releasing the arrow. Solier and Goyobrior say, the purpose of Zen archery is not to hit the target, but rather the concentration achieved by the archer in order to create a style that expresses his perfect mental serenity. When the archer does hit the center of the target in such a state of mental calm, it is proof that his spiritual discipline is successful. Sometimes this sense of peace or calm is the end result of a sports activity. Eric Ryback, who at the age of 18 hiked the entire length of the Pacific Crest Trail from Canada to Mexico, says that at the very end, when he saw his father running to meet him, if I ever had a moment of complete peace on the trek, it was then. This sense of stillness, however, is most often reported as occurring while the athlete is fully engaged. Steve McKinney recalled how he felt when he broke the world downhill ski record. I discovered the middle path of stillness within speed, calmness within fear, and I held it longer and quieter than ever before. Malcolm Smith, describing what it is like to ride motorcycles at speed, says, you feel a calmness through your body, even though you know intellectually that you're right on the brink of disaster. The experience is just as likely to occur in competition or in a team sport. Billie Jean King, writing of the perfect shot, says, I can almost feel it coming. It usually happens on one of those days when everything is just right, when the crowd is large and enthusiastic and my concentration is so perfect, it almost seems as though I'm able to transport myself beyond the turmoil on the court to some place of total peace and calm. We have assumed that the words peace and calm in these descriptions refer solely to the athlete's subjective awareness, not to measurable objection. Okay, I'm just going to have to try that again. Alright, now. We have assumed that the words peace and calm in these descriptions refer solely to the athlete's subjective awareness, not to measurable objective factors. But there is evidence that certain athletes are able to maintain a state of physiological calm even in the most trying circumstances. For example, the breathing and pulse rates of deaf stuntwoman Kitty O'Neill were monitored continuously while she was achieving a speed of 612 miles per hour, strapped onto a liquid fuel rocket in an attempt to break the men's land speed record. It seems hard to believe, but the instruments revealed that her pulse and breathing rates did not change. In fact, Kitty O'Neill's pulse rate is the same when she's driving her body 600 miles per hour as it is when she's at rest. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I think I'm going to have to look up Kitty O'Neill. Certain sports are more conducive than others to feelings of peace and calm. Stillness is almost inevitable in sports such as deep sea diving, soaring, gliding, and mountain climbing, where silence is part of the environment. In a certain sense, going to the mountain heights or the ocean depths or flying alone high in the sky in situations that stretch the athlete to the limit and strip away the comforts of everyday life may create a silence like that which mystics reach through self-denial, withdrawal, and contemplation. These athletes, too, have withdrawn from the world for a time, temporarily, at least. They, too, have become ascetics, and the single-minded pursuit of their sport is in itself a form of concentrated meditation. Mountain climber Richard M. Emerson describes this mystical silence. Here comes the sun. Apparently a few quackers. After so much effort to sit there, totally alone at 25,000 feet, surrounded by a still and emotionless world of rock and ice and blue-black sky, was satisfying in a very special way. It was not the euphoria of altitude. It was the exhilaration of wilderness. Every feature of my surroundings gave evidence of violent force, yet all was calm and fixed, like a terrible battle scene suddenly frozen in a timeless tableau. The rock and ice polished by snow-blasting winds, the graceful sweep of fluting carved on the walls by avalanche, the grind and furor of the ice falls far below. But everything was silent and motionless. Colette Richards, a blind woman, learned to climb mountains and descend into deep grottos. She once described what it was like to be resting high on a mountain. I sat there listening with my whole being and with my whole strength, contemplating that mountain that I so dearly love. Was there anyone in the world at that moment as happy as I? For the silence was not emptiness. The silence was life, making one with the Word. That region was filled with silence, that is to say, filled with life. She also took up caving, accompanying renowned speleologist Norbert Casterit. At her wish, she spent a night alone deep in the earth, where she found total silence. Later she observed, up in the heights, the silence is white and luminous, poetry of sunshine, glaciers, keen air, and the scent of snow. Underground, it is a mineral stillness, immovable, a mysteriously living silence of dropping water and the smell of clay. Howard Schlecher, in Man, Sport, and Existence, which I think is a book, eloquently described the significance of these moments in the life of an athlete. He refers to the spirit of the sport and adds that it is associated with quiet. In searching for the sounds of sport, one quickly hears the roar of the crowd, the crack of the bat, and the thundering of racing feet. But if one listens a little harder and a little longer, one comes to hear silence. There is silence within the performer, in the tenseness of the crowd, in the fear of the hunter, and in the beauty of the ski slopes. We got one more little paragraph here, and then I'm going to stop because this is a long chapter. Man soon learns that silence is an integral part of life, and that certainly it is prominent in sports. Silence is not simply the absence of sound, rather, it is presence. It is the presence of the dimension of time, a realization of the instant and the situation. Furthermore, it is an expression of the completeness of the situation. In a very real way, silence is heard as an integral part of existence, and as such, provides for many combinations of feelings in the man of sport. Alright, the next part's going to be, let's see how far I made it, babes. That's, I don't know. Oh yeah, I made it about halfway. So I'll see how little I can make. I know this one's long, but, you know, they didn't write books in the olden days, last century, for YouTube, and for me to read them waiting on that sun. Come on, baby. So close to peeking over. It's a fine balance between getting here too early and getting here too late. Because the sun doesn't care. I'm here for y'all so that you get to see it, but the sun doesn't care about me. It comes up every day for all of us. You can sneak right outside and it's just waiting for you. Alright, I'm on page 16 of Mystical Sensations, which is the chapter 2. My little sticker. I'll put this weird book back up here again. Come on. Oh, I can see the sun. Here's my book again with all the little peeps. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you.